and welcome to Devakshar. Today we are going to see Sri Ma's visit to Varanasi, how she lived in Banaras and for how long. So this was the year 1912. The mother left Calcutta a few weeks after the worship of Durga that year and arrived at Banaras on the 5th of November. After reaching the Ramakrishna Advaita ashram at Banaras at noon, she took a little rest and then went to Lakshmi Nivas, the newly built house of the Dattas of Bagh Bazar, Calcutta, and here she stayed for 2.5 months. In expectation of the mother's coming, the owners had ceremonially opened the house only a few days earlier. The mother stayed in the first floor with Golapma, Bhanupishi, Kedarnath Datta's mother, and Master Mahashaya's wife and his sister-in-law, while Swami Pragyanananda and other male devotees lived on the ground floor. The wide veranda of the house pleased the mother, and she remarked, "We are indeed rather fortunate. A narrow place narrows down the mind, while a commodious place expands it." The very next day, the mother went to visit the deities of Vishwanath and Annapurna in a palanquin. On the day following the worship of Kali, she visited the Ramakrishna Mission Home of Service, otherwise known as Sevashram, where Swami Brahmananda, Shivananda, and Turyananda, Charu Babu, that is Swami Shubhananda, Dr. Kanjilal, and others were present. Kedar Babu, Swami Achalananda, accompanied her palanquin and showed her around. When she had seen every department, she sat down and, in the course of a conversation with Kedar Babu, expressed great delight at all the houses, gardens, etc. she had seen and the good management she had noticed. She further added, "The Master himself is present here, and Mother Lakshmi, that is the goddess of fortune, is here in all her majesty." Then she wanted to know how the institution took shape and with whom the idea first originated. After hearing and seeing all about the institution, she remarked, "The place is so fine that I feel like staying on in Benares." Soon after she had reached her residence, somebody came with a 10 rupee note and, handing it over to the head, said, "Kindly accept these 10 rupees as the mother's donation to the Sevashram." That note is still treasured there as an invaluable asset. So we can still see it in the office. That day, a devotee asked the mother at her residence, "Mother, how did you find the Sevashram?" She said calmly, "I saw the Master himself present there, and that is why this work goes on here. These are all his work." When this view of the mother was communicated to Swami Brahmananda, he in his turn told it to Swami Shivananda. Just then, Master Mahasaya was seen coming that way. His belief was that it was contrary to the Master's teaching to engage in that kind of social service without first realizing God through spiritual disciplines like japa, meditation, and austerities. Swami Brahmananda, who knew his views, now sent some devotees and brahmacharis to ask him, "Mother has said that the Sevashram is the Master's work and that the Master himself is present there. Now, what do you say to that?" At Master Mahashaya's approach, they crowded around him and put the questions all in one voice, and the Swamis too joined in. At this, Master Mahashaya smiled broadly and said, "It can no longer be denied." Swami Brahmanand, in the course of his morning stroll, visited the Lakshmi Nivas and inquired about mother's health from Golapma and sometimes made fun. One morning, as he came there, Master Mahashay came out of his room and from the upper veranda, Golapma said, Rakhal, mother asks you why Shakti, that is divine energy conceived of as a woman, is worshipped first before the male aspect. Swami Brahmananda replied, It is because mother has in her keeping the key to the knowledge of Brahman. There is no other way unless mother, out of compassion, unlocks the door with the key, and he sang a song in the baul tune. O mind, remain immersed in meditating at the feet of Shiva's wife. Be immersed and avoid all misery. All these three worlds are vain, and in vain you roam about. Meditate within you the coiled energy that's of none but Brahman. This is Kamalakanta, that is the poet's message. Sing the glory of Mother Kali. This indeed is a stream of bliss, and paddle on slowly. As the song proceeded, he fell in the grip of a divine ecstasy and danced merrily, and at the end cried out, Ho, 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 and dashed out of the place. The mother enjoyed this dance from above, and below were Master Mahashay and a few other devotees who also felt stirred to the depths by it all. On the 29th of Agrahan, that is December 14th, she went out to visit the shrine of some of the gods and goddesses of Benares. On another day, when she came to the Tilabhandeshwar temple from Vedantic temple, she said of the Shiva image at the former's place that it was a natural one. Afterwards, she went to Kedarnath temple a little before dusk and attended the evening service after having a look at the holy Ganges. About Kedarnath, she said, This Kedar and that on the Himalayas are the same. They are connected. If you see this one, you as well see the other. He is very much alive. She also visited Sharnath ruins a few miles away. Miss MacLeod, who happened to be at the hotel in the cantonment area then, sent the hotel phaeton for her. But as it did not come in time, the mother, along with Radhu and Bhudev, started away by a hackney carriage. When the phaeton came, Swami Brahmananda and some others proceeded by it to the same place. As the mother was engaged in seeing the Buddhist ruins at Sharnath, she noticed some foreigners observing those things with evident astonishment, and she said, The people who constructed these things have come again, and struck with astonishment are remarking, What wonderful things they made! At the time of returning, Swami Brahmananda had it communicated to the mother that he wanted her to drive in the phaeton while he himself would ride in the carriage. But the mother protested, saying, No, no, Rakhal, and others came in that one, and they will ride back in it. I shall be all right in this one. But she complied at last and drove ahead in the phaeton, while Swami Brahmanand and his companions followed in the carriage. When the mother was out of sight, the hackney carriage turned turtle while negotiating a bend. The Swami was not hurt much. Recovering from the fall, he said merrily, Luckily, the mother did not travel by this carriage. The mother, on hearing of the incident, said, That accident was really in store for me, but Rakhal perforce diverted it to his own shoulders. Otherwise, what, with those young ones in my carriage, might not have happened to us. The mother visited two holy men, this time in Benares. One of them was a follower of Sri Nanak, and the other was Chameli Puri. The former was new to the place and was seated on the bank of the Ganges. The mother offered a rupee at his feet and saluted him. The grand old monk Chameli Puri was asked by her companion Golapma, "Who arranges for your food?" And the Puri replied with faith and warmth, "It is Mother Durga alone who does. Who else does?" The monk's faith and deportment pleased the mother immensely, and on returning home she said, "Ah, the old man's face comes to my mind. It is so very like that of a child." Next day, she sent him some oranges, sweets, and a blanket. When on a subsequent day there was a talk of her going out to see more holy men, she remarked, "What more holy men have I to see? For there indeed I have seen a holy man. Who else can there be?" She had visited Benares twice before, but she could not remain long. She took advantage of this long stay to hear the Kashi Khanda. This is a mythological account of the glories of Banaras, and visited more temples. She was present one day at the Ramakrishna Advaita ashram during the enactment of Ras Leela. As was the custom, she saluted the two boys who played the roles of Krishna and Radha by offering money at their feet, and she was followed in this by others. On another day, she sat there for 2 hours to hear the exposition of a portion of the Bhagavata. In addition, Swami Girijananda went to her residence every afternoon to read to her the same book. On the 30th of December fell the birthday of Mother, which was duly celebrated in her presence at the Advaita ashram. In the life of the mother, the two currents of spirituality and household affairs were so intermingled that for any newcomer it was difficult to separate the two or comprehend their separate import. One day, some local woman visitor found the Holy Mother busy with Radhu and Bhudev, and in addition, asking Golapma to mend her cloth. Finding there only a repetition of the usual household scene, one of them could not help blurring out, "Mother, I see you are deeply engrossed in Maya." "What to do, my good girl?" answered the mother. "I am myself Maya." To be sure, the hint fell flat on the critic. Another day, there came 3 or 4 women. The mother was then seated on one side of the veranda, while Golapma and others sat on the other side. As Golapma appeared to be older and possessed of a more imposing personality, one of them saluted her and tried to enter into a conversation. Golapma saw through her mistake and said, "There sits the Holy Mother." Not impressed by the simple appearance of the mother, the woman thought that Golapma was jesting with her. But when Golapma repeated what she had said, the woman had to go to the mother, who, however, was tempted to enjoy the fun, and said with a smile, "No, no, she indeed is the Holy Mother." The woman was now in a fix, for both talked the same way, and there was no means of ascertaining the truth. So, after some hesitation, she decided to follow her first impulse and advanced towards Golapma, who, however, rebuked her, saying, "Have you no judgment at all? Don't you notice whether it is a human or a divine face? Does any human being appear like that?" The mother had in reality something unique in her simple and yet placid look, which revealed its supernormal character to any pure and discriminating mind. But how could that divine light be reflected on the dark and distracted minds which run around sordid worldly vanities? The mother left Banaras on the 2nd of Magh, that is January 16th, 1913, and reached Calcutta the next day, where she remained for more than a month and then started for Jairambati on the 11th of Phalgun, that is February 26th, 1913. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. So, this was Mother's visit to Benares. Do stay tuned to Devakshar, like and share our videos, and subscribe to our channel. And always stay tuned, that is very important. Visit us. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaskar.